do have a nice pottery one.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
It's like my biggest old man hobby right now is pottery, like ceramic or whatever this is called, coffee mugs.
Where's my good mug? God damn it.
It is my good mug. It's only
Friggin'
for
wife.
after work mug only.
Look at this.
Oh, yes. I was wondering if it was going to make an appearance.
Yeah.
That was epic. Now I need one.
Mike got this for us. I was looking for a non-permanent marker to write on it, but I'll have to get one.
What is it, like a dry erase one?
Yeah.
That's
You can write all the episodes and all that stuff.
Hell yeah.
It's kind of funny. I actually like it, like as a prop, like on the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I'll have to work on mounting
Get your
it.
little head and like a sticker, like one of those stickers you can make on Stream Elements, and then
Yeah,
stick
yeah,
it
yeah.
right to it.
True. Now you're thinking, yeah. That's something.
Sometimes.
Oh boy.
Well, it's
I
Friday.
was like, dragged you on here. I'm like, I don't know what we're going to talk about.
I don't either.
But-
I think that's better though.
Yeah.
I didn't take any notes.
I've been having a couple days at work where I can like run away and listen to podcasts and shit. And I've been listening to one of the major ones I've been listening to is like the Huberman Lab podcast.
Is this
which
the
I
guy
wanna
you were
send
talking
you-
about?
Yeah.
It wasn't yesterday. What was it?
2 days ago.
Wednesday? Yeah.
I think, yeah. I want to send you his stuff because it's good. And a lot of it lines up with what we've been saying. But for both of us, I think we're pretty like scientific and analytical, and we need like hard facts. And this guy's like literally has a doctorate in, the hard facts that we're looking for. So it's like super powerful stuff when you start, for me anyway, like, you can hear it a lot of different ways, but this just happens to be a way that I'm good at receiving, I guess we'll say.
Yeah. I find that's not just in podcasts, but in other stuff, like a person's delivery. Everybody kind of receives it different. So yeah, I tend to be more on the side of what you are, and I know we like a lot of the same things. So I definitely, some people are more into like just sorry, I'm doing the,
Oh, well.
Some people are doing like the cat was definitely on my desk. Like it is throwing me off. I'm going cross-eyed looking at the cat hair on this. Yeah.
She went cat mode on the desk.
This is just completely derailed me. But anyway,
Moose.
yeah, like
friggin' moose.
freaking Moose. I brought his bed in here hoping he'd hang out with me.
Oh, him.
Him, yeah. Moose is
Misgendered him.
big dude, yeah. Ooh. Anyway, just a person's delivery style has to be like really good, and anything for me to like last past the first like minute of anything, like video, song, someone talking in front of me, like it, you know what I mean? So it's always interesting when you find someone that you can jive with and actually get into their stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's another podcast. It's like I'll have to put it on the video, but I think it's called like Building a Second Brain or Building a Better Brain podcast. And there's like two guys on it, but one guy's got a really nasally voice, and I'm like, every time he talks, I'm like gritting through it to hear the other guy speak.
I know.
But hey, that's just because I'm an asshole.
Yeah, and that, that's just one of the things that I'm talking about. Like I know, whenever I get in that mood where I'm gonna like lose a bunch of weight or work out, I always used to do a bunch of those like programs on videos, and there were some people that I would like their delivery, I'd listen to them and I'd do the entire program, and then there'd be someone else that would do one, and if I didn't like it, I'd just stop. You know what I mean? After a couple days. So I do think it all depends on a person's brain. Like you said, we're analytical and kind of deal with the scientific side of things, and I do feel like a lot of not just podcasts, but like self-help stuff, and a lot of like the more like I don't want to bother everybody who likes the style, but the more like universe inspired ones and like positive feelings and all of that, like that style of it. A lot of that substance is still backed by the same science, but they're just saying it in a way that people don't want. Like a lot of people don't want to listen to like a super analytic description of things. So then there's this other side of things for people that still get the same facts. They just kind of, come about it a different way. So I think that's kind of interesting too.
Yeah. There's a lot of crossroads and like, I guess, intersections where the different we'll call them thought processes or mindsets, like they meet, like even Andrew Huberman is talking about like yoga nidra and non-sleep deep rest, like basically saying, like let's say you did 90 minutes, like you went and you had a really good stream, and he says, well, scientifically, after you have something like that, you're supposed to basically take 20 minutes, pardon me, take a 20-minute rest where you literally let your brain cruise out of, like thinking, like cognitive thinking and doing all these things to like just down into another state for 20 minutes. And then what that allows you to do is kind of like iron in your experience of the previous 90 or however long you were live, or, whatever it is, even if it's like working out or something. Scientifically, there is this non-sleep deep rest that's supposed to come after, where you're supposed to just do nothing, right? And you can read a book or something like that, I'm sure, that has similar similar repair characteristics or whatever they call it. But it's interesting to hear. I'll continue the rant just for a little bit, and he talks about neuroplasticity, which is the scientific term for being able to change the way your brain works and thinks, to fix it or make it worse. Make it worse, like trauma, like getting in a car accident is a major event for neuroplasticity, right? So people's brains change. And anyway, he says every day you've got about 90 minutes in the morning at the start of your day. That is the most critical time for, neuroplasticity and to arrange yourself. So these last couple of days, he said it's going to be difficult to do this, but if you're trying to reprogram yourself, you need to start thinking about positive thoughts, what you want your day to look like, what you'd like to achieve, how you'd like to see yourself. And you need to think about that for the first like 90 minutes of your day. And he said, it's going to be difficult and it's going to feel annoying and you're not going to want to do it. It's just going to have that, it's like almost like itchy, like mentally itchy to think that. But he said like that's the time that you need to do it. So I've been trying these last 2 days, but it's tough, man. It's tough to just do something that simple.
Yeah, I know. And that's even like me. I'm like, even if I've got like something challenging coming up at work or a difficult situation, I'm trying not to just wake up and immediately get on that. You know what I mean? Like I have another hour and a half before I have to go be in that atmosphere. So just trying not to wake up and be like, well, what am I going to be mad about today? Because, you wake up and you're undecided on your mood. So I definitely understand that. And it sounds so, just, I don't know, it sounds so rainbows and butterflies or whatever it is. Like, just wake up and tell yourself it's going to be a good day.
Of course.
Try it. Or at least don't tell yourself it's going to be a bad day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's the baby step there, maybe. But
yeah, and you're basically, for the other side of things is like people are talking about affirmations and stuff like that, like you're basically affirming or reaffirming yourself every morning of either the same thing or maybe something slightly different. You're kind of just setting the prerogative for the whole day. So if you wake up and you don't realize it and you're like, I'm going to have a shitty day today, I hate everything. It's like, yeah, well, your brain is actually working really well right now, and you just wired the day perfectly for that prediction. So I found that pretty interesting to hear it from somebody who's actually in, he's studying like neuroscience, like he's got a doctorate in neuroscience and all the shit. And like, it's like, wow, this stuff actually relates to what, people used to deem pretty much crazy people, or, you know what I mean? Like it's only very recently that people started listening, I guess we'll say.
Yeah. And, a lot of the stuff that, things like that talk about, like you said at the beginning, do kind of tie into what we're talking about. I know this is more just two guys talking about stuff, but a lot of the ideologies there and stuff like that are us trying to work through the same thing, because I would say for myself, certainly, that I am more tendent to be pessimistic than I am optimistic. And that's just, he said, many years of conditioning throughout my life of trying to find the worst in things and trying to find out why I'm not happy, or make a reason why I'm not happy, or find an excuse for why something went a certain way. And I think a lot of that's human nature. But yeah, it's 30 years old now, almost 31, when I'm like, maybe stuff isn't so bad. Maybe it's really, and that's, I forget what you said, but it was one of these podcasts, but like, don't make other people's bullshit your bullshit. And that's one of the biggest ones. Like, everybody's got enough of that to wade through on their own without having to bog other people down. So don't let people ruin your day that you haven't even talked to yet that day. You know what I mean? Like, let that interaction actually happen organically, and just instead of waking up and being like, okay, this is the situation I'm mad at right now.
Yeah. I think like I'm very like negative and pessimistic for sure. And I think I was thinking about that. I thought about that many times because people have called me an asshole many times. And I think it's kind of like, it must have been handed down, you know, like if I think about it from an evolutionary perspective, it's kind of like, well, it's worked for the last guy, so we'll carry it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, I can think of 1,000 ways that, you know, even if I'm driving somewhere, I can be like, oh, well, hope I don't get in a car accident today. And then I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just little things, like just weird, subtle negativities that you have to like squash down. And I'm sure people, you know, what's that movie? A series of unfortunate events. And she's like, watch out, you might get near the fridge, and she, you know, you might get crushed. And I mean, it's a book, but I definitely relate to some of that, you know?
Yeah. And it's
like, it's just funny that some of that is actually how humans think.
Yeah. And I don't think people like myself, for say, are going to all of a sudden like flip a switch and just all of a sudden be like happy-go-lucky, like everything's great.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's what I'm trying to expect from myself either. But I'm kind of, you know, an inherently grumpy person, not even mad, just kind of, you know, heavy set brow, you know, family demeanor is just kind of like, you know how it is.
Yeah.
And so even if I can just be even keel, like I said, just not, because it's fine to just be, you know, kind of stoic and quiet and that sort of thing, but you don't have to make it all grumpy, mad at people. Like I'm trying to, a big thing for me is not let external factors affect me and things that I'm doing. So it's a little bit of putting the blinders on, you know, like, okay, I'm not feeling too great, or I'm not in the best mood, and somebody's doing something over here that has nothing to do with me at all, but I turn my head and I see it and I don't like it. Now I'm mad at it, and then I don't look at it anymore, and it's back in my lane because it's in my head, and I'm keeping it with me while I'm trying to move forward. So I'm just trying to keep all of that kind of out of here, if that makes sense.
And some of that, I think, is like you're kind of strengthening your own borders. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of, you could say, oh, I'm not going to look at anything today, but it's like, you have to look at things, and things are going to happen to you, but
you have to learn to process it. Yeah.
Like, how do you process, and how do you like put up like positive walls, or whatever you want to call it, in order to overcome them, for sure. So
yep, that's
an ongoing process for me, for sure as well. How many times can I say for sure in 5 minutes?
For sure. I said about like 4 times there before. I think that regardless of what happens with views on this or listens or anything like that too, what I use this for a lot is the gap between now and when it comes out. How many times did I do things in the 4 days that I said I was trying to get away from on the podcast that made sense? So, you know, I say them on Friday, then I listen then on Saturday, I do everything the opposite of what I said. And then on Sunday I re-listen, and I'm like, oh, right. Like, I was going to try to do that. So then moving forward, I'll try to take a step to do that. And, I'm really stuttery today. I don't know why. I think I'm just overtired or something, but I'm like, my brain's taking 2 steps to catch up to what I'm trying to say.
I almost choked on my own spit like 2 minutes ago, so you're good.
It's just one of those, This is one of those things. Words are hard, I guess, today. But and this motherboard has been making me rack my brain too, so I get steam flying out of my ears. But we're working. Look at this. It's back to life. It's
Franken PC lives.
It's the legend. Yeah, the legend that never dies. So
it's cursed in a way.
But
it's like, how dare you rip out my heart and replace it?
Yeah, you can't replace me. I couldn't believe how quick, like, I angrily put it back together. So, like, the old board, I'm like, pulled everything out. I'm like, undoing stuff. Yeah. Slam the old board in there. I'm screwing it in. I didn't do no cable management. Just fire it up. Whoop. Here we are. Like, everything right back to normal.
Yeah.
It's like, all right. Just put the cover back on and just don't look at it anymore.
I'm pretty sure I know what the issue is, but it's an annoying one that you won't be able to fix without another CPU.
Hell yeah.
So,
That's
I know I think that that board is a third. So it's a third and fourth gen Intel board, but I don't think it's on the latest BIOS. So you need a third gen CPU, slot that in, upgrade the BIOS, then you could put a fourth gen in. It's annoying.
I'll just hold it
That's what it
hostage
is.
until you come here then.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
just amassing a bunch of your stuff in the corner here. Actually, the whole room will just be your stuff. Like, you gotta come
Yeah.
now.
It's a bad habit of mine. I wonder if it's honestly sometimes I think it's like subconscious. It's like you're trying to like go back to New Brunswick or not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I left the guitar and I was driving to the airport and I was like, fuck, like what am I doing? Like I just
Yeah.
left it and walked out. Like what am I anyway? It's weird, man.
Yeah, you had
Strange.
like two things and you showed up, a bag and a guitar, and you left.
Yeah, and I just took the bag and left.
Yeah.
And I looked back in the van and it was just not there. Like
The
okay.
van. That was an awesome van.
The minivan.
Yeah, hell yeah.
She was cheap and fast though. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, I just came off call and like I didn't even get called in that much, like a few little calls here and there. But just that constant nagging feeling of being connected to something. Do you know what I mean? Like just the thought that I might have to go there. Find that does an interesting thing to your brain too, because it's like the Friday that I come off it, I just feel like just straight down, like I'm not connected to it anymore. So it's almost like I got unplugged, and it's like it's a weird. For anybody that's worked in that sort of atmosphere, I think they'd understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's just a strange feeling. I just feel
Yeah.
weird.
You guys do 5 days on?
Friday to Friday, but it's only once every 5 weeks. And this time of year, we don't get a lot of calls or anything. But it's still the fact like you can't go anywhere, can't do
Yeah.
anything.
You're like checking your work phone.
It's
Hope I don't get any calls.
Like I'll go downstairs. I better bring my other phone with me. Oh, I don't get service down here.
Hmm.
So yeah, just annoying. Anyway,
Yeah.
New weekend, we're good.
We have that in IT, and that's something I didn't realize until I got out of university. It was like, oh, you're in IT, you got to be on call. And I'm like, this is actually awful. Like,
Yeah,
it's one of the main reasons that I hate. Like, it's one of the most hated aspects of my job. Is what I should say. It's not fun at all, and it's like it's very like binding. You know what I mean? Like
that's
like,
it. You got to really love what you're doing.
Yeah.
For me, like my kids were young, or when I only had one kid and he was young, it didn't really matter because it wasn't affecting like the flow of my life. It was just kind of, I was sitting on the couch doing nothing. If the phone would ring, I'd go make a bunch of money and then come home. But now it's like, okay, now you want to take them to you want to do a bike ride, but you can't go very far just in case you got to rush back and get in your car. And like, it's an aspect that changes a lot as you progress in your life, especially with your family and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I'm fortunate, like I'm not like, one of the linemen or anything like that. They get called out every single night to go fix power line or stuff like that. I've got a lot of good friends that are, but even just to being tied to the place, that's one of the things that I like the least. But what can you do? Someone's got to do it.
Yeah. One of my old buddies near Toronto was a lineman, and they got called out on Christmas night. Like it was like 24th going into the 25th, and there was like a snowstorm, and like a bunch of lines went down. They all worked all night, and I was like, that sucks. Like that's awful.
Yeah.
Obviously they made a bunch of money. Like cool, you made a bunch of money, but it's still awful. Like
yeah, and think about like the tornado in Ontario and stuff like that. Like
yeah,
how many people be out working in that? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I
feel for them for sure. Like I feel for their mental state. Like hopefully they know how to cope with it for sure. Cause I don't know if I could ever register for a job like that. Like, I don't know. I don't think I could, period.
All my buddies that do it, listen to a lot of podcasts. They really do. Like that's their thing.
Yeah.
Something to keep them going.
Should throw them this one. God damn it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You want to listen to me? Like some good advice for you. Like, no, you don't. You're like, so? Listen to it anyway.
I've listened to all 20 episodes. I didn't get a fucking thing. I couldn't go somewhere
I'm
else.
still doing the first line of the first podcast. I'm not even doing that. But anyway, it was a long time ago, really.
Yeah. 20 weeks.
Is this 20?
This is episode 20, so it's actually 21 weeks. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Not
it's
bad.
trippy.
It is. So time flies, whether you're having fun or not. That's the shitty old pessimistic saying that
life's a bitch and then you die.
Yeah.
That's
Truth.
a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
Life can be a bitch.
There you
and
go.
Then you die.
Yeah. You're still dying. That's the
That's the inevitable.
Yeah, it is.
I remember learning that I was going to die when I was like 13, and I was like, took me like 10 years to get over that one.
Some people have that's a big phobia. Like that's one, I forget what it's called, but that's like one of the more not popular, but
it's trending.
That's
right
one
now.
People pick. Yeah, if you're gonna pick a phobia, like you can be weird and pick clowns, or you can just be afraid of death like a normal person. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but it affects a lot of people.
Weird.
I don't know.
Well, not weird. Yeah, it's actually not weird at all.
No, it's not. It's a pretty legitimate thing to be afraid of, I think, but
yeah,
it is what it is, right? Everybody's scared of something, I think.
Yeah, everybody is. I think it's like strange to know that you are mortal, but then do nothing about it. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, I'm gonna die one day. Better go to fucking McDonald's tomorrow and then stare at the fucking TV for 4 hours. Go to bed.
Yep.
Like what? There's a lapse there in your critical thinking. So that's what we're trying to break here.
Yeah, that's true. You got derailed there for a little bit. You want to talk about death for a minute? We haven't talked about death since episode 3. Let's get back on it.
Hey, remember when what happened there a couple months ago?
Yeah, exactly.
What can we milk for views now? Who else has died recently?
Yeah, happy Sunday anyways. I got the money saver here, and the obituaries are quite populated.
Reading the obituaries line by line.
Oh, that's such a grandparent thing. My wife's grandmother would be like, did you see in the obituary that something? I'm like, no. I didn't. No. Flip to the back just to...
It's always at the back too, right before classifieds.
Yeah, exactly.
The people who have died.
Right before you can buy people's old like Bell and Rogers remotes that they're selling in the newspaper for $5. Yeah, hell yeah.
I remember I sold my first computer from a newspaper ad. Kijiji did not exist
when the old classifieds.
Yeah, like there was a classified, and I put up the Gateway desktop.
Nice.
Someone bought it for like way too much money. I was a scammer. I was a little kid scammer.
Supply and demand.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, we'll cut her off here. I feel like your name reveal though is gonna break the ending.
You're gonna screw it up for sure. So this comes out before I'm changing.
Yeah.
It. So you got to do the old one.
Okay.
And then next week you can screw it up. It's gonna screw me up too bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, everything's going too consistent. Let's just completely screw with it.
I kind of like it. I like it.
It's
enjoy like when Britney Spears shaved her head.
Yeah, or when Prince just decided he wasn't Prince anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so exactly.
I'm just, I'm just a trendsetter.
I think I'll go home now.
Thanks for watching. Think I'll change my name now. I can't wait to see how many people it screws up. That's like going to be the best thing. They're going to be like, hello, so-and-so. Welcome in. Apparently you're a subscriber. Oh, yeah, it'll be good. It'll be all good. So I tested it out on Mr. Nukeberg's. So
yeah,
if I've got the support of that generation, I'm feeling all right.
He got his nod.
Yeah,
so.
I wasn't going to do it if I didn't get his approval. Don't tell him that.
All right, team. My name is Julian, also known as Mr. Elliott, as I already fucked it up. This is Between the Lives episode 20. And over there, we currently have Father Millennial. I already fucked it up.
This is great.
His real name's Nick.
This is awesome. This is what I want, just the slow demise of the outro.
One of my mustache hairs is up my nose, so here we are.
I'm interested to see if the cat hair part at the beginning, if I actually went cross-eyed when I was looking at it. Oh, yeah.
Maybe. We'll have to look shortly.
Yeah.
Anyway. But I will leave you all for now. Thanks for watching. Please give us a like and subscribe if you could, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.
See you later.